if we're talking about the relationship between digital manufacturing and the future of cities, it's important to understand the relationship between manufacturing and the city, right? We can see today how most of the cities in the world, they're based on a global economy. Most of the infrastructure that is built in the city and around the city is based on moving atoms. It's moving things, not only between regions or between cities, but also at the global scale. So that's why it's so important that cities have logistic centers, cities have ports, airports, train, railways. So that's what we have seen in the last 200 years is that we have put a lot of brain power and energy in developing the technologies and the infrastructure for an economy that moves materials around the world. When we put that into the digital world, and thanks to the 3 digital revolutions in computation, communication, and now in fabrication, we need to rethink all this infrastructure again. Because we're going to be able to share the recipes of products instead of shipping the products in atoms, right? We are doing this already with pizzas. We don't ship all the pizzas from Italy to the rest of the world. We ship the recipes, and there is local infrastructure in cities to make those pizzas. We need to think about the same way when we talk about mobile phones, computers, clothing, anything, technology, furniture, anything that you need to live with needs to be rethinked in a digital way, right? Digital way means connected. It means that we don't need to put heavy stuff in shipping containers and use fossil fuels to move them around the world. It means that we can share designs digitally and make things locally using a new type of infrastructure that will help to reconfigure the city metabolism, and also it will help us to build like a more sustainable future for everyone. In order to reach the goal to produce almost everything that we need locally, we need to take a very systemic and very holistic approach to all, I would say to the way humans live on planet Earth. It sounds very, I would say, new age maybe, but if you think about how we organize society today, it's based on a lot of myths, right? So we have assigned value to certain things. No? You assign reputation that is related to certain ways of living, assigning value to something that is a currency, which is printed by a central bank. We assign certain value to products. Some expensive cars means something. So again, like we are assigning, it's a whole agreement between society to assign the importance to things. At the same time, it's true that in order for people to live in cities, they need to have access to energy. We need energy to heat or to cool down houses, buildings, etc. We need materials to make the habitat, the human habitat, to build the buildings. We need materials to, if we need transportation means, the materials to cover ourselves. So it's looking at the very primitive ways of living. And also, we need food, which is also energy for people. So those are the 3 main principles, or the 3 main things that we need to sustain life in cities. You can add to that water, you can add information as well. In order to achieve the goal to produce almost everything we consume, we really need to look deeply on how we are making materials circulating in the world. Where is the food that we consume? How we are powering our buildings? How we are powering our transportation methods? And how all of them are compromising our very own future. So that's one response. And then my second response to that, my second answer to that, it would be related with the experimenting. So there is not a solution that you can say, this is the way in which things are going to change. I cannot tell you which is the solution. No one is going to come with the solution. Elon Musk is not going to come with the solution, or the next hero of our times. We need to create learning environments in the cities to experiment new forms of have these things produced in the city, using the means that we have in the city, but also using the collective intelligence, the collective power of citizens. So Fab City is a global initiative started between the Institute for Advanced Architecture of Catalonia, the Fab Foundation, the Barcelona City Council, and the MIT Center for Bits and Atoms, together with other partners like the Peer-to-Peer Lab, a Danish Design Center, the VAC Society, so a lot of partners around the world that together with the local governments managed to put an urban agenda based on urban self-sufficiency, meaning that working on developing a global infrastructure, knowledge infrastructure, but also digital infrastructure, in order to start this transition to make cities to produce locally almost everything they consume. The Fab City as a global initiative has 3 components. One is one of the most important, well, all are super important, but the key element of the Fab City Global Initiative is the Fab City Collective. The Fab City Collective is a group of people, around 100 people around the world, that they commit time, effort, energy in order to make it happen. And since 2011, more or less, we have been working together as a group to make this agenda possible at the local level, but also at the global level. The second component to the Fab City Global Initiative is the Fab City Network, which right now is composed by 34 members. So there are 34 cities, regions, and countries that have publicly committed to reach the goal set by Barcelona. And the goal set by Barcelona is that by 2054, all the cities that commit to this challenge need to produce almost everything they consume. So it means July 6, 2054. And this starts from a moment in which the former mayor of Barcelona pressed a button and started a countdown the 6th of July in 2014. And the countdown is 40 years until we can produce almost everything we consume. And then the final element of the Fab City Global Initiative is the Fab City Foundation, which is is an entity, it's an organizational entity, now it's based in Estonia, is using the e-residency program to run a distributed organization in the world that is supporting the network and the collective with establishing key partnerships with cities, institutions, multilateral organisms that operate at a global scale, and also bringing the funding and any other support in terms of resources to make the Fab City happen before 2054.